Hello, and welcome to the Fresh Air Show. What is up, guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Fresh Air Show.
Hello!
Now, as of this recording, tomorrow will be Valentine's Day. The saddest time of the year for singles everywhere. Yeah, because, you can tell why. All three of us are currently single, and, this podcast is just here to dampen the pain, I guess. Valentine's Day's always been kind of awkward, hasn't it? Because anytime you've had to make a Valentine thing for something, it's always like your parents or your gran or something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, many years ago, definitely.
What is
Now
it?
it's just another day for us.
Yeah. So, how have you guys been since the last podcast?
Been alright?
Yeah.
Yeah, not too bad.
I remember last time this February, not that much actually happens, and so, for this one, I've taken the opportunity to empty out my, story files to finally get some of the stories out that I've been holding on to for quite a while. So, I'm gonna start with this one. So, you guys are aware of the app Kahoot, right?
Vaguely.
No.
Well, for those who don't know, Kahoot is an app on the phone where you can take part and make up your own quizzes. And
Oh,
yeah, so in college where I work, that's used to help the class interact and learn a thing or two. And I remember this funny incident that happened. Now, on my Wednesday classes, the class that's in that time is for like the older people who are coming to grips with technology and computers, and so they're shown how things are done, right?
yeah.
And wouldn't you know it, the subject of the day was Kahoot, and a lot of the people in the class made quizzes. And I remember one woman made up a quiz around Scotland, and oh gee, she got the answer terribly wrong, and she was the one making the quiz.
What?
Because one question, like halfway through the quiz, which I was taking part in this as well, it came up with a picture of Kylie Minogue, and it said, "Who is this famous Scotland celebrity?" Now, the correct answer should have been Kylie Minogue, but the answer she put in was Kyle Monge.
What?
Kyle Monge.
Oh, wow.
No,
Oh, Monge.
yeah, nobody got it right because the class was just laughing their tails off. who on earth is Kyle Monge?
Maybe that's Kylie Minogue from a parallel universe. If she,
Yeah,
I don't know.
parallel universes. That's always the answer.
And in fact, she's the guest star on the podcast right now. Say hello, Kyle Monge comes in.
Hey, hey, Kyle. What's the world like on your side of the universe?
Everything's on fire.
You sound a bit like Lefty for some reason.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, hi, Lefty. It's been a while, cousin.
Hi, Kyle.
Oh, dear.
How's that whole war thing going on your side?
This guy's accusing me of cutting down palm trees.
Oh my God, Lefty, shut up. This is why we don't talk anymore.
Oh, God. Can I just say, this is making my day.
That's what these podcasts are.
Dan, there's a new character for you.
Yep.
Kyle Monge,
Kyle Monge.
cousin of Lefty.
Oh, trust me, that could happen someday.
Well, now you know who to send in for the voice work.
That had me thinking. Have you had any incidents where iPhone apps have been sort of against you in a way?
Well, I don't really use Apple products, so
Well, just apps in general.
yeah. Well, other than recently, my tablet going on the fritz.
I guess I did have I had an app once where you could make your own side-scrolling video game, but if you had it on for too long, the phone would get hot and it would be all sort of. It's weird how technology works sometimes. But,
Yeah, and overheating on phones can be pretty ridiculous because I remember seeing this one video where it was like this woman holding a phone and it was smoking because it was that overheated.
God.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. It was like she just taken it out of a fryer or something.
There is a lot of talk about phones setting alight, isn't there? Like, if you're not careful, like if you leave them on charge and things.
Yeah.
Be safe at home, people.
Yeah, be safe. You're listening to The Fresh Air Show. So, another thing that happened recently is that me and my parents now own an allotment.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Yep, for those of you who don't know, it's a little plot of farmland where you can grow your own crops and flowers. And it was partly due to the fact that I think in episode 7 I dedicated one of these podcasts to one of my uncles who passed away. And I remember saying a great man with a green thumb who gave me mines in return because he too owned an allotment and he sort of got me into growing things, and yeah, it's just another thing to help distract from the darkness of the internet, I guess.
What's your favourite thing to grow?
I've tried. My favorite thing to grow is, I think, corn, because I remember growing corn plants from like popcorn kernels because they do have the ability to grow if you use the right methods. In terms of gardening and such, any stories that you guys have that might be interesting?
Not really, no.
Uh,
It's been a very quiet month for me, so.
I guess what springs to mind is I used to have a Venus flytrap. Which are quite cool.
And then suddenly it went missing, and all you see that night is like the little fluttering of a little insect flying out your bedroom window.
Yes.
The Venus butterfly trap.
Exactly. So, but it was good because growing up, I always have a fear of wasps and things. And one morning I came out and saw it got a wasp, and I was like, yes, it's all falling into place.
Yes, brilliant.
Where I live out in the country at the moment, when it gets to about winter, my place fills to the brim with ladybirds. Like, So I'll look at the door, and there'll be like 16 walking around above it and stuff, and they're everywhere, and it's like, I've been thinking about getting another one, but I don't.
Well, ladybirds or ladybugs for you Americans are kind of necessary because there's a certain pest that I'm all too familiar with called aphids, and
Ugh.
yeah, they're little green insects that suck up all the goodness from your plants until they're just dead. And ladybirds happen to prey on them, so I just think, Dudley, do you think you could send me some in like a container and maybe we'll end this conflict?
Yeah, how about 30 in a jar? Like, because I have no aphids in here, but they don't know that. I mean, it's almost Valentine's Day, and instead of bringing ladies home, I'm bringing ladybirds home. It's not a good thing.
Yeah. Well.
God, I'm so lonely.
Well. Oh God. One gardening story that I remember, and it kind of happened the same time last year. How me and my dad encountered two of the dumbest idiots we've ever met in our lives. And so it all started one spring morning last year when I was heading in for a shower. And because it was pretty hot outside, a lot of the windows are open, and my dad's in his bedroom doing whatever he does. And so I need to walk past him to get to the shower, but as I was doing so, I heard like this buzzing noise from outside, like vroom, vroom, vroom. And in my mind I just think, someone's probably cutting the grass. And suddenly my dad gets a bit more suspicious and anxious, and he's like constantly looking towards the window, like, wait, that sounds like it's coming from our garden. And so and I was like, yeah, it does sound like it's from our garden, but I'm pretty sure lawnmowers and grass cutters don't sound like that. And so my dad suddenly springs up, looks out the window, and suddenly he starts banging on the window like, hey, hey, hey! And he like runs down the stairs, and I like, what on earth is going on? So I look out the window and I find this large lorry pulled outside our house, and these two men are in our front garden with a chainsaw hacking up our garden.
What?
I know. And they managed to. My dad ran out in time just as they were putting like branches into like their lorry, and he was like, "You bloody idiots!" And because the plant they were hacking at, it was like a little Scottish pine, like, which he just shaped into a bush, and it was like 7 years old, and so you could see the sheer fear and panic that was in these guys' faces, like, oh no.
We got caught.
And the worst part is that one of our neighbours across the street waved over to them saying, no, you're meant to be over here. So you
Can't even get addresses right.
Yeah, who goes up to a random person's garden and just starts cutting up everything without?
You'd think they'd at least tap at the door.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Or ring the doorbell or something.
And so they were like, it was ridiculous. Now when Dad came out, they were like, "Oh, do you want us to start cutting down that big tree of yours in the center of your garden?" And he was like, "I don't want you cutting down anything." And the worst part is that Scottish pine that was in the garden, it was just, and currently is, just a pile of stumps that's never gonna grow again. And he was like, just cut the rest of that thing out. You've already killed it. And
Did he?
Yeah.
What does your dad do?
he just scolded them, asked for their address and manager, and I like thinking that we are so fired. Because idiots.
I was going to make a pun, but I'm going to refrain myself because one, I've met your dad, and he's a very nice person, and I feel sorry about that incident. So,
Yeah.
horrible people.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, you'd think they'd at least tap the door to make sure they were in the right place.
I know, it was just ridiculous. So, oh god. I'm just glad I didn't plant anything in the front garden, otherwise they would have had two angry people to deal with.
You are listening to the Fresh Air Show.
Well, let's dive on in to the month's most ridiculous headlines. That jingle's never gonna be a solid one. Alright. In this month's news, a bid has started to raise the Hawaiian age of smoking to 100. Yeah, good luck trying to smoke now.
Yeah.
Now, I like hearing stories about that when people say, "Oh, don't do drugs." And then you hear stories like this. You'll never be able to smoke until you're in a retirement center. Yeah.
The last smoke before you die.
Oh jeez. I don't want to get into stuff like that because it does.
Don't want to get too heavy.
It does stuff to you and it scares me. So I'm just avoiding it altogether.
Yeah.
Do you remember back in the day in cartoons like Tom and Jerry where when they think they're about to get hit by a train or something, they pull out their last cigarette just to smoke and stuff like that?
Jeez.
Like, so now if you were 100, you could actually do that. You'd be on your deathbed.
Jesus.
Oh.
You just take
Be hit by the train of old age.
you just take one puff and then you'd be gone like.
Exactly. I'm not saying when you get to 100 you can go stand in front of a train.
No,
By any
no,
means.
don't
Just
do
to
that.
clarify. Okay.
Alright, here's the next headline. Toto's song Africa is to play in the Namib desert for all eternity.
Ooh, that's gonna get tiring really quick.
Now, for those of you who are confused, basically, a German-Namibian artist by the name of Max Seidentoff has set up a solar-powered sound system consisting of 6 speakers attached to an MP3 player. And he's set it up somewhere in the Namib desert to play the song Africa on a loop. Now, as soon as I heard this story, I just immediately thought of like someone who was lost in the desert and they think they hear civilization.
I was literally about to make that joke. And you said it.
Yeah, when
That song! I know that song!
yeah,
I'm sorry!
yeah, they're
Ah, dang it!
like they're approaching, like you've got a lost traveler in this climbing up a sand dune, and they just do, "I've lost the reins down in Africa." Civilization! I'm saved! Wait, is that a mirage or something? Why am I seeing 6 speakers and an MP3 player? I bless the rains down in Africa. Like, no!
At least the vultures have something to listen to while I wait for people to die. Bobbing their heads up and down.
For them.
Oh god. Now you've just got me thinking of the Jungle Books vultures singing that. Oh god. Like, I could just imagine like that guy. Oh, it's a little tribe of 6/10, and they worship a giant MP3 player. No, wait. It is a giant. It is an ordinary MP3 player. Oh God. All right.
If you were lost in the desert and you found that, if you had nothing left, would you destroy it before you died? just to add insult to the people who left it there? Or
Probably, yeah.
I was just like, you little scumbags. Oh, God. Alright, here's the next headline that I have. An Australian woman has been bitten on the bum by a snake that was hiding in her toilet.
ouch. That reminds me of Snakes on a Plane. Instant visual, if you haven't seen
I'm
it.
pretty sure that's just a day in the life of Australia.
Yeah. Because I've not been to Australia, but honestly,
We've all heard stories.
yeah,
Yes.
they have some of the most dangerous, crazy animals down there.
And swooping season.
You need to, they say you have to wear gloves every time you open the bins and put your shoes on and stuff, apparently.
Jeez.
'Cause,
Just walk around in a spacesuit, for heaven's sakes. Because it's
Yeah, there's even a season where, like, the birds that live there start swooping down on a bunch of people, hitting them, trying to grab some stuff from their hair or whatever. They have to wear helmets when they step out.
jeez. That's
And that's why they call it swooping season.
oh God. That's
I mean,
That's a
Come on.
reason why. That's a reason why Australia is oftentimes called Oz, because when you arrive there, you're certainly not in Kansas anymore.
I
It's like
guess
they're not even on Earth anymore.
Yeah.
I say snakes are my favourite animal, but come on, snake, get in the water on the toilet. That's just not mannered at all.
That's a low blow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, this woman jumped off her seat after being bitten by the snake. Helen Richards received this non-venomous strike from in the dark at a relative's house in Brisbane on some point. And she only received minor puncture wounds from the 1.5 meter long carpet python, because that's the snake. Now, carpet python, more like toilet python. Come on.
I don't see snakes hiding in carpets. Or do they?
Oh God.
Well, I mean, considering all the venomous snakes in Australia, it being a carpet
Yeah,
python
probably
was
not.
pretty lucky.
Probably not outside the realm of possibility to have snakes hiding in a carpet.
Yeah. Apparently, the person who captured the snake said it was common for snakes to seek water in toilets during hot weather, so
Yeah, that's fair.
pretty understandable, but just bear in mind, if you live in a tropical country, it's important to keep the toilet seat up, because stuff like that has been known to lurk under the seat.
Well, maybe you should be keeping the toilet seat down so nothing can get in the toilet.
Well, to be fair, rats from the sewers do have a habit of entering your toilet through the other end, so
Oi.
yeah.
So while ladybirds are getting rid of aphids, the snakes are getting rid of the rats. See, the snake was doing his job. See, he was doing
Yeah, you have a point there.
Just drop a few pennies in the toilet, he'll be happy.
Yeah, thanks.
Fun fact, quickly. Have you ever held a snake? Knowing you had those people, but have you ever held a snake before?
No,
Yes.
no, I haven't. I've held like bearded dragons before, but not snakes.
Yeah. So some people, there's a rumor going around for one thing that snakes are slimy, but they're not. Like snakes are never.
No, they're
Like,
not slimy. They're just kind of cold.
yeah, they're kind of smooth as well, aren't they? Like so. But a carpet python, I've held one before, and they actually feel like quite rough, like a carpet. So I mean, it's
No,
quite
that's probably
funny.
what they got the name then.
Maybe I'm imagining so.
Uh, just be
I
glad it
don't
was.
imagine they were just hiding in carpets.
Just be glad it wasn't a Lego Python, because imagine that. Yeah, you're in the middle of the night and you step on that.
I've seen there's a lot of shows like, I think there's one called Snakes in the City, which is set in Africa, and there was this episode I was watching where this is my dream job, by the way, but like, if basically they're on call in case like a snake gets in your house, you can call the people to come and collect it, like not to kill it or anything. And he went around the house. Yeah, so they looked around the house for this cobra or something, and it was inside the little girl's dollhouse when they finally found it.
What? Yeah, was it in like a little dress, drinking from like a little teacup?
Yeah, using a fork but not a knife. That was enough.
Because snakes have a forked tongue.
Actually, wouldn't he need just a knife because he's got the forked tongue?
Yeah.
That's good. Dang it!
Yeah.
Upstaged.
I should have quit while I was ahead.
Alright.
I'm Randy Newman, and you're listening to the Fresh Air Show. I'm Randy Newman.
Now, I know this only happened a few hours ago, but they have released the trailer for Frozen 2.
Really?
Yep.
Yep. Oh
Yeah, I
my
was on Tumblr and I saw a few screenshots.
oh my god, it looks incredible.
Yep.
And let me tell you, the first video that I saw that was advertising the trailer, I thought, just from looking at it, I thought it was going to be like one of those fake fan-made movie trailers.
This looks legit.
Yeah, because as soon as a few seconds in, and I just see Elsa standing at like the sea, and I'm like, tell me more. Because
Do tell.
for those of you who don't know, Frozen is one of my all-time favorite Disney movies.
Wonder why.
Yeah, because great songs, great animation, and Elsa is just such a great character.
Oh, I thought it was all snow, but okay. That works.
Well, that's one of the reasons. The fact that the snow in that movie looks so good and realistic. Yeah. Now, I have no idea what they've got in store for Frozen 2, but I'm just in it for the experience, and judging from the trailer, it already looks amazing. Because you've got Elsa trying to use her ice powers to run across the ocean. You see Anna using a sword quite fiercely, and it looks awesome. And you see Kristoff and Sven leading an army of, or a herd I should say, of reindeer charging through the forest. And oh my,
Elsa using her ice powers to try and put out a lot of fire.
Yeah.
So just based on that, I'm gonna assume that maybe another person with fire powers, sort of like a foil to Elsa's power, is coming into play.
Yep. So what are your thoughts
I mean,
on that?
that's just low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Dudley?
Well, first I think it's quite a big coincidence, because this morning I was thinking, we never did get a Frozen 2 trailer, so I can't believe that's happened.
Yeah.
Will it?
I will be checking the trailer out as soon as this is over recording, but that sounds quite cool.
Yeah.
Because I guess that if we do see someone who has fire, we'll get a backstory to how Elsa actually has her powers, because we never actually got that.
Yeah.
You know, 2019 is going to be a huge money-making year for Disney.
Yeah.
Because...
especially with the outcoming of Endgame.
Yeah. Because not only do you have Frozen 2 coming out, you also have, like you said, Endgame, the sequel to Avengers Infinity War. You've got Toy Story 4, which is coming out as well. A a live-action Lion King movie, and the third installment to the modern-day Star Wars trilogy. So,
Supposedly.
yeah.
I mean, we've had Aladdin as well, if you've seen the trailer for that.
Yeah,
Yes.
with Will Smith as the all-known genie, so that's...
I feel like Disney's running out of ideas.
Well,
Yes.
either way, it'll make them a lot of money this year, so...
Yep.
Yes. Do you know about Disney streaming service?
Nope.
Well, basically, they've been taking things like the Marvel films and stuff off of Netflix and stuff because they're going to be releasing their own one, essentially, called Disney Streaming Service. And there's
Isn't that the same one in Ralph Wrecks the Internet? Because Ralph and Vanellope do go to the Oh My Disney app.
They might have put hints to it in there, I don't know. But
Yeah.
there's
Foreshadowing.
There's a live-action Star Wars series called The Mandalorian coming out, and all they've shown so far is a screenshot, which looks awesome. But you're only going to be able to see it if you watch Disney streaming service. So I'm going to be getting that. So definitely, just so all of you know about it. But it might be worth getting.
Because, like Netflix, there's always that one person we all worship and use their accounts while they pay for it, and I'm like, we are not worthy.
Don't tell them that. You didn't hear that, Netflix. We don't do that.
No. We all have our accounts.
Yep, totally.
Yeah.
Don't watch the birthday video.
Yeah. Personally, I wouldn't sign up for a subscription service, at least not yet, because I'm broke. For instance, if Disney is willing to also put movies on like their streaming app, I don't really see the point, because I'm slowly piecing together a Blu-ray collection. So yeah. And you get a physical copy, so when the tablet powers down, when there's no more electricity in the future, what do you have to prove that you've genuinely watched and loved this franchise, or whatever?
Oh, I am in complete agreement with you, because I've always collected DVDs. I've got so many now. People say, why do I collect them when I don't just get it online and stuff? But there are those exclusive things that aren't out on DVD that you can only watch and stuff, like Amazon and Netflix, which is the annoying thing.
Yeah.
A good example is Grand Tour Top Gear on Amazon and stuff. I really want to see that, but I need Amazon to see it.
And even Voltron on Netflix, that's only exclusive there, right, Ryan?
Yes. Well, you can find it online, but, you know.
In very
legally.
rare places, but yeah.
All the old familiar places.
Well, I think that might be enough footage for this month, guys. So, to all you people who are already in relationships out there, we're so jealous.
I'm not.
Enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy that day, whatever you may call it. So,
Whereas the day we're excited for is right around the corner. Pancake Day!
yep. And I have my own personal recipe, which I practice on, so that is something to look forward to.
You better bring some to the next podcast.
I'll probably have one as evidence. So, we'll see you guys next month for a brand new episode of the Fresh Air Show. Time to say goodbye, guys.
Bye.
See you then after my birthday.
Oh yes, because that's also happening. So, if anything else does happen, that'll be brought up in the podcast as well. So see you guys. See you, Kyle.
Oh, no.
Bye, Kyle.
Bye.
Bye.
You have been listening to The Fresh Air Show. Leave a comment down below or email Fresh Powder. See you next month for a whole new slew of content. I'm talking really fast right now because it's what they do at the end of the radio shows.